sister said, "Oh, really, really?"
Do they get all
Welcome to
warm?
the Scandal Fan Podcast. We are your hosts and hostesses. Well, I guess that whatever. I'm Jaha Knight, and I'm joined by the amazing Scandal Podcast crew that I am lovingly a part of. Langston, Eldia, and Katrina. Please introduce yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
You just did.
Yeah, right?
They don't know who is who.
Yeah, and if you know, okay, well, I'll just start by saying we are a hot
Okay.
country, but in a very good way.
Okay, I'll be Katrina this week.
So my name is Eldia Harrison. You can find me on Twitter at Janet Tamerfan. And then I'm
Yes.
going to point to Langston, right? No, this way. Go ahead, Langston.
My name is Langston Smith, and you can find me at Langston Smith on Twitter, and you can also find me at Black Alphabet on Twitter as well. And today we officially launched our Indiegogo campaign, so go there, visit our Indiegogo campaign, and please, please, please contribute.
Donate.
So much appreciated.
Oh, wow. Yes.
I saw it, and I'm
Katrina?
going.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank me after I do it.
Does he have to wait till you get your refund check?
No, God, no. The U.S. Oh my God, I pay my taxes. I did my taxes on Sunday, and it took freaking ever. And no, I don't owe the U.S. government shit. They're not giving me shit. Just so long as they recognize that I'm alive this year, because last year it sent me a letter saying, Social Security Administration said you're dead.
Did they say, are you still with us?
We couldn't process a return for this person because they are deceased.
That's the same letter Jay's gonna get.
It's like that voice prompt. It's like that voice prompt. Are you still there?
I am still here in the United States government.
I don't know what kind of lives y'all are living over there.
I'm not. Look, I have to file taxes in 2 localities, but it's not the same time of year because they go from April to March here, and the U.S. government is like a calendar year. It's very annoying. But whatever. I'm Katrina Pavela. Me and my tax problems. You can find me at katrinapavela.tumblr.com. where I blog about Scandal and a tiny amount of randomness, and on Twitter, where I am at #1feeling, and that is the number 1, not all spelled out.
I can't corral them today, y'all, because I am sick. So y'all are just gonna have to bear with us. They just Langston cannot be contained. So.
Oh no! Apparently, there are people on Twitter who like to tell me to calm down, sir. But that's all right. I'm good.
Don't mess with one half of Langston. I will not have it.
No, it was actually funny. It was actually funny. I enjoy being corralled sometimes. Sometimes.
So the episode last night, I'm just a Bill. What did you all think of last night's episode?
Oh man, I mean, from beginning to end, I enjoyed it. I was Susan for me. I was loving Susan. I was loving every minute of Susan. But it was cracking me up that people were getting annoyed with her because why didn't she just sign the bill? I'm like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if that's how. Well, that is how government works. But
That's why nothing is effective.
But seriously, you want that to happen? You want her to just push it through without even bothering to read it? No, I like Susan. I want Susan to read that bill.
Susan and David might hook up.
Oh, God, no.
No.
They both wear white hats.
No.
What is wrong with y'all?
No. You know
Why
what?
can't Susan have love? Let's
Because
Susan
can get love.
Susan can have love. She just can't have it with David. That's
Susan can't have love with David. Y'all a bunch of haters. Let Susan get her swirl on. Let her ride on the rodeo. Y'all.
Hey, I don't know. David is almost like Quinn, right? Everybody who sleeps with him be like some kind of scandal, so she might not want to get involved with David.
Right. Maybe not.
What you talking about? David slept with Abby and there was no scandal.
Yeah, but he had all those hookers, the one that turned up dead, and the other that was involved with the other case of the week.
Love to. He didn't say he wears a white hat. That doesn't. Never mind. I'm not.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't
Yeah,
mean
no.
to get his
Stop trying to make Suvid happen. Stop trying to make Suvid happen. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want Suvid. I am feeling platonic Fitzen though. That is my new shit.
Yes.
I'm all about it.
Yes, I think that was absolutely a magical president vice president moment there, because
it
was like
squeeing all over the place.
Because she shut him down. She shut him down real quick.
Well, I think not even shut him down so much as, I think Fitz has been there, right? And he's surrounded by these people who are the kind of more back alley brawler people. And let's not forget, Olivia has not been around and been as influential.
Right.
The thing that they have in common together is their idealism. It's something he spotted in Susan, back and forth. 414 when she came to his office, and I think he liked that in her, and she had to remind him, hello, this is supposed to actually matter, and if you actually read this, you would know that pushing it through would only be symbolic, and what is the point of that? If you actually want to affect change in this country, we need to revise this bill so that it holds some weight. And he had to be like, you're right.
Yeah. And I also love how she equated it, to telling her daughter to clean her room. That was awesome. Now I could tell her to clean her room, or I could ask her to clean her room. If I tell her to clean her room, she has to. But if I ask her, it's a request, not a demand.
Right.
I was like, you put that right together, Susan. I like that.
That was crazy. I love that scene as well. That was one of my favorites.
And I also love how she called Melly out. That was awesome.
Oh my God! Can we talk about how Susan showed up Melly for the vacuous, power-hungry woman that she is? Melly wants power. She doesn't want to serve. Even when she told Fitz that she wanted to be president, she talked about wanting to rule, wanting to run the country. And if you, when you've heard Fitz talked about wanting to be the president, it's been about serving his country and being of service to the country, especially this in his second term. And Susan too, which is why they get along so well. But Melly, she just thinks that she deserves it. She should be able to walk in and get it, and it should be a cakewalk. And I really resent that. And I hope some other shoe is going to drop here. I don't want to see her fail necessarily, but I will be upset if she doesn't have to do anything for it. And Melly stands out there. Don't give me shit about, Melly's been married to Fitz for however many years, so she deserves this. No, the fuck she does not. Okay, so stop it right there. What has she done? And stop comparing her to Hillary. Give me a fucking break. Stop it.
Right. Well, okay, you guys are gonna have to clear something up for me, because the thing I got confused about was Melly is running in the state of Virginia, correct? Which is where which is where they plucked Susan from, so to speak. So they plucked Susan. Yeah. Don't you have to have resided in the state at some point
to
run for Senate?
She bought a farm. She bought a farm to establish residency.
Okay, because I was like, how's she just going to take her seat like that? Okay, that makes sense.
And the thing is that what I hope Scandal deals with coming up is that when to go back to Hillary, when Hillary ran for Senator of New York, she was doing her campaign while she was still in the White House with Bill. But she had to officially resign her FLOTUS duties, which she did, and I think Chelsea, her daughter, picked them up for her. The thing is, though, it was in Bill's last year as president. So when she took the oath of office for senator, she was no longer, in the White House, at all. Now, for me, obviously, this is the first year of Fitz's second term. Melly's going to have to give up being FLOTUS in order to, do the senator's job if she wins. But I guess she's standing is it uncontested competition? Yeah. So she'll still be at the White House. She won't do anything. I don't know who's going to take over those duties. Karen's at boarding school. Who's going to become, who's going to take on those official kind of White House duties, that role? I don't know. So there are all kinds of questions that are going to happen here. In my fantasy world, Mellie getting her own power and autonomy is really important for paving the way towards a Grant divorce, because that's what she's missing, is her own power and autonomy. So I want her to have it for that reason, so that they can both be free of each other.
Yeah, it needs to happen. I think people are ready for it to happen. I know there hasn't been a lot of Fitz and Liv interaction this season. And I know people, like, some people are for it, and other people are, like, totally like, oh my gosh, another episode and no blah, 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 blah. I am one that has been for it. I have actually enjoyed Olivia being away from Fitz this season. The moments that they've had were great, but I've liked her with just everyone but him, if that makes sense. I've enjoyed her.
Oh, look at Josh.
I just
said me.
No, you know what it is? You know what it is? And I don't want to take words out of your mouth, so I'll just say how I feel is that I've enjoyed Olivia this entire season. Like, everything that she's gone, through. I've been there for all the highs and all the lows of the OLED stuff. But I knew they were not going to be together this season. As a matter of fact, when the season 4 poster came out, I always do a kind of I don't do predictions, but I talk about, what does the poster mean and the theme and what's possible for this season. And one of the things I said was that I don't see them being together this season. And they haven't been. They've had like a couple of moments and interactions, but like they haven't had a lot of their usual heavy like whatever. They did that in 404, and they had like a couple of things after that, but not really. And they haven't had a whole lot of interaction. But I think for me, it's been necessary. They need that space and that kind of light in their relationship, because ultimately, nothing has changed. I keep saying that their love and their relationship are two different things. The love that they have for each other, like, that's not really going to go anywhere, even though Olivia was kind of in denial after getting back from hell, and she's coming back to herself. But their relationship has nowhere to go right now, because she wants Fitz to remain president. She doesn't want him to sacrifice his destiny as a person in order to be with her, right? That's not something that she wants or is going to allow. Fitz has to be his own man and move on things when he thinks that they're appropriate, and sort of like figure that out. And she has to kind of get on with the rest of her life in the meantime, if what she thinks she still wants is to wait for Fitz, or to still be with him after his presidency is over. But she's not going to sit in her apartment and like pine away or just be celibate or single, which is what some of these girls out here want, who are saying like the most ghastly shit like I have ever seen all day long whenever she breathes close to any man with a dick. And it's just like, can you stop it? Like, she needs to move on with her life. And it doesn't matter if getting new dick isn't the same as therapy. That's what she's doing, and she's coping the best way she knows how, and she's trying. And I'm trying to give her space for that and like have grace for her to do that, but I don't know what it is that they like want for her at this point.
Go ahead, Althea.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump in on the Q&A here. We have a few people joining us. Hi, guys. Shane B says, have they started yet? The answer to that would be yes.
Yeah.
We have. Welcome. And then Lucinda said, missed you guys. I have been away too long. So, hi, Lucinda. Welcome back. Lucinda also said, Fitz being excited about his job made me smile. I think we all felt that way. And then Shane said, just say it. If Russell jumped on top of Jake and stabbed him 983 times, only for the writers to say he was wounded, I will officially write off, I cannot pronounce this guy's name.
Ramla
Muhammad.
That's a woman, Ramla Muhammad.
Ramla Muhammad, who wrote that Hinderus Run episode.
Horrendous.
No, she didn't write Run. Shonda wrote Run. She wrote the episode after that, which is Where's the Black Lady, which I actually love. She and Debbie Allen teamed up again because Debbie directed 411, and Debbie also directed, Miss Debbie Allen directed this episode as well, and I really enjoyed it. I have a theory about that stabbing scene. And Langston, I don't know how you feel about this. What if? Did y'all notice the way Olivia was looking only at Jake in that scene where they were toasting at David's office? And I found it weird, right? And I thought, what if, I mean, this is a long shot. If Olivia kind of like found out or knew that Russell was B613, what if she is working with him behind her father's back? Because in the preview for next week's episode, we see Russell go into Rowan's office and say Jake has been eliminated. However, he's fucking B613. These motherfuckers know how to kill people with like a blow dart. Like if he wanted to kill Jake, he wouldn't go in there trying to beat him up with like a mask on. All of that was unnecessary. He was trying to beat him the fuck up until Jake unmasked him, and then he panicked and whipped out the knife, stabbed him in the stomach, and then when he got hold of Jake again, he started stabbing him in the shoulders and arms. That's strategic. If you want to kill somebody, drive that shit into his heart. So he didn't want to kill him, which makes me think, was Olivia trying to sideline Jake so that he would, A, not be killed by her father, and or B, not try to go all gung-ho, let me be the hero, and try to go after her father himself, thereby sidelining her own plans. Because at the beginning of the episode, Jake was all, well, I inherited his cases, I served as command too, if anybody can go after him and get him, it's me. And I was like, here the fuck we go, Mr. Wannabe Hero again, the worst fucking spy in the world. So that's my kind of theory right now about it. And I know it's a really long shot, but...
Well, I do agree that that Olivia has figured out at some point that Russell was working with her dad, because I just have a hard time believing that she didn't catch the fact that he understood that she was speaking all those languages when she was sleeping, and maybe she did that on purpose. Maybe she wasn't actually asleep. But you would have to think that she got a clue that how would you know all of these languages that I'm speaking and I don't even really know you.
Right.
And no regular person knows how to decipher between Swahili and Zulu.
And who's to say that Russell hadn't been following her for a while, and she noticed it, and that was her whole purpose for going out that night in the first place.
To catch him.
Was to catch him, was to reel him in, and she did just that.
Waiting for someone to come up to her, knowing that someone was out there and up there. It's possible.
And she knows that.
What about the case from last night? What did you all think about that?
I enjoyed it.
That's why I'm wearing the buns.
I think I'll go first. I just want to say I think his name is it Cornelius Smith? I think his name is Cornelius Smith.
Yes.
And I discovered Cornelius many moons ago when he was on a soap opera called
talking about?
All My Children. The actor
Marcus.
Marcus. That man named Marcus. I am not dragged into
I was saying, we're not doing
I was getting there. I was saying that I discovered him as an actor.
Let her get there.
Thank you. Many moons ago when he was on the soap opera All My Children, and he was like this diamond in the rough. They never knew what to do. I'm just saying, I'm glad that he's
got nothing to do with you like that.
And I'm excited that he is on the show. And I hope that he stays.
Let her get there.
I'm just saying, I hope he stays because I love him. He is actually a really amazing actor, and I like the vibe that him and Liv have together. I feel like, I don't know if last night that was something they did intentionally, but I felt like that scene with him and Liv at the police station, I felt like it was kind of like a nod and a tip in a weird way, I know, to Columbus's character, because we never really got to see how Harrison and Liv met on camera, if you understand what I'm saying. Like
Harrison is dead. What?
Oh my gosh!
Stop, and listen.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
I'm hearing you.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Jaha, you
on the wrong podcast.
No, it was always said.
You're overly medicated. That's what it is.
Like Harrison.
It was always explained.
That's all. Is that all you took away from that entire thing that she was
you
talking?
You rubbed two black together in an episode, and now we got Harrison. How the hell did that happen? That's my point.
It was never shown on camera how Liv and Harrison met. It was always just talked about, and I felt like that scene was a nod and a wink to the fans like me. Maybe not. I could just be reading into it, but I felt like that scene was kind of like a nod, wink, wink. It felt very reminiscent of her relationship with Harrison. That's all I'm trying to say. So I like him. I hope he stays on the show.
And it also just that whole little banter, that
Harrison, because I don't recall them having that kind of camaraderie. So,
what are you talking? Well, sorry. Go ahead. You, Langston.
I was just gonna say it was reminiscent of a lot of the season 1, season 2 banter that we used to get between all of them when they would be together, and Olivia's like bouncing off of them, and that whole delivery situation that they were doing. I enjoyed that. Are you here? No, I'm not here. If I were, are you under? It was kind of cool.
Excuse me.
But I do love the way that they brought the whole lawn chair conversation that they had
back into
full circle back into this. Is like now you see what I'm about.
Right.
I love that she said that because
this is what I do.
Remember how judgmental he was of her.
Oh, very.
Talking about your black card and you're not getting your black card validated, and I know what you're about, getting a white Republican elected. And I was like, oh, look at you. Somebody knows how to put keystrokes into Google.
Right, and all that while he was dipping with a white Republican.
Well, this is what happens, right? All that blacker than thou attitude sometimes is masking like some other kind of insecurity or overcompensating, right? Because the whole idea that the whole concept of being blacker than thou is just like a stupid ass thing, and it really irritated me in 414, and I feel vindicated this episode over all the people who were like, yeah, Marcus challenged Olivia, I don't know why she being new black and all this shit. I was just like, shut the entire fuck up, because there's nothing new black about Olivia Pope, and this guy doesn't even know her, and where does he get off? So believe me, I was looking smug as shit when this episode came around, and somebody needed help, and he knew exactly who the fuck to call. And the reason why I am wearing the Mickey today is because of Mickey.
Do you see it?
Marcus had to humble his wig, okay, and recognize Olivia's authority, okay, and how she's able to speak to a room full of white-ass police officers like that, and walk the fuck out of there with him having never been there. That's what the fuck she's about. That's the level of power she has.
And that's what I want to address. There were people on Facebook today talking about, now that would never happen in reality and blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
it wouldn't happen for you, but it could happen for Olivia Pope because we've already established that she is a powerful woman. That was the whole point of the kidnapping situation, was to establish she is the most powerful woman in Washington, D.C. And people were willing to pay for it. So if someone's willing to pay for her to get the information that she knows, you don't think she's going to stand on that power and tell somebody, you cannot arrest this man because you don't have the power to do so. You did not read him his Miranda rights. You did not do this, and you did not do that. So he was never here. He's invisible to you, okay? Invisible. So don't even try it.
Not only that, these same officers saw her parade up in there and discover all that dirty work that officer tried to hide. So they already saw her stunt on them in a low-key way in 414. So they know what she's about too. So hell yeah, she could do that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. She's got the press on speed dial. She's got media on speed dial. Plus she's got the power of the White House behind her.
Yep.
So don't tell me that this woman who is based on Judy Smith, who has probably done this same exact thing at some point in her career, that she can't do that. She can. And she did. She did. So what's she gonna do?
Right. And what?
Okay, Langston.
I'm just saying.
So, jumping back in
activated.
Okay. Jumping back in on the Q&A app. We have some more people joining us. Kamara's here. Hi, Kamara.
Hi,
She says, I love your theory, Katrina. And she was like, you go, Eldia, a good man working. I loved him on All My Children as Jesse and Angie's son. You have a good theory, too, about Harrison.
Be quiet, Jaha. Be quiet.
And Lucinda said, regarding the new dick theory, it's like James told Cyrus, how the hell can Liv get legit therapy? She can't tell someone about everything in her life. Lucinda also
it's
said
very
Marcus,
complicated.
right.
Camara, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Camara. You need to just go.
Okay, let me finish, then you can jump in. Lucinda also said Marcus will be a gladiator.
Jaha being on Kanye today. What's up with that?
Right?
Pull your Kanye back. Pull your Kanye back.
Lucinda said Marcus will be a gladiator. Shane B.
Exactly. They paved the way for him to be a gladiator this episode.
Shane B. said Elvira agreed. I think Marcus is being set up to be the new Harrison, nod to the shirt and tie combo last night.
Really?
Because you know what?
Jaha mad.
Wait, Kevin, let me finish the last one, guys. He said, I enjoyed the case from last night, but it was stupid. Why would this black activist decide to have an affair with his opponent's wife in their house? Seriously, Muhammad makes me shake my damn head.
Because he's a man, which was the whole point.
And he was probably already having the affair before he decided.
Exactly.
She probably encouraged him to run against her husband.
And low-key helped him.
Yes, and as soon as we get him out of office, I'm leaving him for you, so I can continue to be first lady of the mayor.
Right.
That's so messy.
It's true.
All right, so we talked about the case. We talked about Olivia and the new Harrison of all things. What were your favorite 3 moments in the episode?
Could you call your daughter into the room?
No. Stop it. Okay,
because I need for her to get you. I need for
talk
her
about
to
going caught. Don't start that, Winston. Anyway, my favorite 3 moments. Just a hot mess.
This show is a hot mess today.
My favorite.
I'm so sorry to all of y'all that are watching this episode.
It's not us. It's not us. It's not us. It's you. And we're not saying that we're breaking up with you. We're just saying it's not us.
Okay.
It's you.
So my favorite 3 moments were, I think we talked about this earlier. It was the Fitz and Susan scene. That was one of them. My second one was actually the Cyrus and Susan scene. Was like when he walked into the room and was like, "Just sign a damn bill," and she politely checked him, and he looked at her and he was like, damn, like he couldn't even say that. He was like, damn, she got me. Like I just gotta go. And then my other favorite scene was actually when he went to go send Melly in there to go after her. That was the most. I was like, Cyrus and Melly should know better than to put their heads together. Like it never ends well when those two put anything together. So they should just quit. They should know better.
I also loved when they said David in don't feed the pigeons. Don't feed the pigeons. But what was hilarious though is that David was sweating. David was like, so you haven't been to law school? You never been to law school?
Yeah.
No.
Never even a semester?
Even a semester? Yeah, that was hilarious. I was like,
I love that scene too.
Because he was kind of reminding me of like I don't like he was like almost if he had just done the collar, I would have been like, he's like,
would have been done.
It was crazy.
What were your favorite moments, Langston?
Well, that was one of them, and of course, every time Susan was on screen talking about that bill, I was in heaven because I was cracking up because I was like, she is on her stuff. She is everything. Remember, we predicted this. We predicted that she was not going to be an easy lay. She was not going to just lay there. Not just gonna lay there. She came in, it's like, no, I have not been to law school, but I can read. It's like, she's on that.
Not his lapdog.
She is on that RIF plan. That reading is fundamental, and therefore,
you make me sick. You are just ridiculous.
But through reading that thing. But it is. But through reading it, I grew up with that. Hello. Yeah. I just gave away my age. But anyway.
Me too. So.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Any of that. So.
Oh my God. See, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why you're so on edge.
Oh please, I read all.
Maybe if you would just pick up a book. Maybe if you would write a book.
The shot has come back.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. All right, shit, you got me back now.
But no, seriously. But no, I just thought that was really powerful to see like this everyday person that they brought in that they thought was going to be a pushover and just come in and bring in her everyday knowledge and just say, this isn't right. This doesn't make sense to me. I want us to create something that is legitimately going to help people instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it and letting it go. And I think that was a strong message that Shonda was putting out there. It was like, if the voting public thought the way that this woman who has been put in this position of power, God only knows what America could be like if we actually forced our politicians to actually do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and the laws that they passed actually had some teeth.
The questions that we asked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, right. Katrina, what were your favorite 3 moments?
Well, in addition to some that were already stated, actually everything that had to do with Susan, I absolutely loved. And I also like the scene with Cyrus and Abby, when he's like, black people voting Republican, right? Putting Fitzgerald Grant on their wall, and Abby goes, "That's gross."
Yeah.
I know, right? I know.
Right.
I just love that moment because it's just such a Cyrus-ass thing.
Right. And then the fact, but did you also notice the look on Abby's face? Because there was also the simple fact that there were like at least 2 black people in the room, and he was saying this out loud. And she was visibly uncomfortable, like, stop.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, it was just too much. Jumping back in on the Q&A, we have some more interaction going on here. Kamara Harrington said, "I love you, Jaha and Langston too."
Oh, thank you.
She also said,
"Love you back."
Apparently going through her favorite scenes, she said, "I love the Susan VP, Red, Melly, and Cyrus. Yeah. She plucked my last nerve, but she had the most sense in the room. And then Fitz decided she was right and helped her. The many reasons why I love that man. Langston, you are a mess with reading us fundamental." But
it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
And then Lucinda said, favorite moment, Susan and Fitz working together, Susan telling Melly she knows what she's about, and Olivia being honest with Marcus and saying she just wants simple, good sex from him. And then Shane B said, Jaha was wrong.
Oh, let's talk about that there. Let's talk about that there.
And then Shane, did you hear me, Jaha? Shane said, what's wrong?
Oh, I have a sinus infection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not in the best of moods.
So. Clearly, we've been getting the brunt of it, but it's okay.
I have not said anything.
We'll forgive you. That's the problem. You haven't been saying anything other than trying to shut poor little Eldia down. Eldia's giving off.
Here we go with this Harrison talk.
Eldia's feeling joy from Marcus and Cornelius and blah blah blah. And you just like.
Mm.
But no, let's talk about the sex scene.
The sex scene. Okay, first of all, can I just say it was my favorite tweet of the night from Tony Goldwyn, what he tweeted during that scene. He was like, shit, I'll call her Alex too. That's what it gets me. I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead.
But you know what? It was, you know, the thing about it, the very interesting thing about it is everybody was talking about, you know, well, she needs to be with a black man, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And the one thing that was very apparent from seeing her with
they act like she's never been with black men before.
Right. No. But I'm not even dealing with that. But I'm just saying it's about chemistry. And last night I saw chemistry between her and Brian White, which I did not see between her and the gentleman Norm Lewis who played Senator Puddin, as they call him, but what is this? Edison Davis, right? But no, that's all. It's been so long since I've actually heard his real name that I keep forgetting because all the ladies in the Scandalistas and Scandalrati call him Senator Puddin. So that's what I've gotten. That's what I've gotten used to calling him, is Senator Puddin. Because I think the reason they were calling him that because they said he was so chocolatey good or something like that.
No, because he looks like Bill Cosby.
I guess now it's not a good thing.
He does not look like Bill Cosby.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Oh my God.
No. Well, maybe like back in the day.
He ain't claiming that right now.
Like when he was on I Spy or something like that. But that what I saw last night between Russell and Olivia last night, that was chemistry, because I was like when he pushed her up against the wall, I was like, I need to cross my legs. It got kind of warm in the room.
I was like,
they getting it in, because it was like I think off camera kind of like she did a slide off or something. She slid something off.
She had to slide his hands down to where she wanted it. That's
okay. Is that what was going on? Because
but I did also know. You know what she was doing?
She did something with her face where she was like, and I was like,
yeah, when he finally got there,
what's happening? What is he doing?
That's where I want you. And I shouldn't get our X-rated up in here. Let's move on.
I'm just curious.
We'll say that, but I just wanted to mention the chemistry was there, and that's what needs to be there, and that's probably why Senator Puddin was sent on his way, because he didn't have that. And it's like you can go back and look at all the scenes, because ultimately we only saw them half dressed together once.
Yeah,
but that's purposeful, right? So they show you things that they want you to see on the show. They didn't want us to get really invested in that relationship. Plus, it wasn't a new relationship. That was around two. You know, going back to something that was comfortable, she knew worked, and she knew how to like relate to him, and he was convenient. But again, she goes to these dudes after she's either heartbroken or she's going through a difficult time, or she can't be with Fitz. Like she's never like pursued someone out of like genuine desire or independently wanting to move on with her life. It's always she's with these people as a catalyst for something else, or trying to either deny, distract, or whatever. This is partly how she deals with things. And because her father knows that, he manipulates her this way.
And not to mention
Rowan, bring that up. Go ahead, Langston.
The other situation is also the fact that because Rowan made her scared to be with them, but also let's not forget that in season 2 when she went to him, it was because she wanted something from him. And so ultimately based on the fact that she went to Edison. When she first went to Edison, is because she wanted something from him. But the only reason it continued was because she found out that Fitz was having her followed and photographed. So then she took it one step further and decided to continue seeing him, because she didn't appreciate Fitz, having her followed and having her photographed.
Well, I don't think the thing is that I don't know if it was because of that, because Fitz brought it up in the context of her like national security stuff. Right, the picture with Edison.
But we all know that wasn't it.
Yeah,
No. We know that wasn't it. But the thing is, she wasn't courting Edison because Fitz is like spying on me, because she knew Fitz was surveilling her back in season 1 when she went out there and slammed her hand on the hood of that car, and she told those Secret Service guys, "You go tell your boss. I know what he did. I know what he did." So like, Fitz surveilling Olivia has literally been a thing probably since she left the White House. So like, for me, like, that wasn't it. Mm-hmm. Edison actually got a chance because she didn't really start with Edison anything until after she and Fitz broke up in episode 4 of season 2, when she after season 3, after episode 3, when she's like, I'm not yours, and then she asked him to let her go the episode before that, and then finally Fitz is like, fine, I'm letting you go, because she said, where does this have to go? She's just heartbroken, but she's trying to like move on with something comfortable. And it's not until episode 6, Edison comes to her apartment and she's upset. Literally, the woman is crying and bawling, and Edison is there, like begging to be let in with like Angelina Jolie movies and salty sandwiches. And that's when she and she wants to distract herself from being upset.
What and the hell?
After his face, right?
What is the correlation between Angelina Jolie movies and salty sandwiches?
He shows up and he says, I have an Angelina Jolie movie where she wields a gun, and I have another Angelina Jolie movie where she wields a gun. And he says, I have sandwiches in these like 2 movies. Yeah, he does. He specifically says Angelina.
But how do you know that the sandwiches were specifically salty? That's what I want to know.
She grabbed Adam crying to come in, and they start kissing, and then whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then we just wanted them to move on.
Right.
But Dane, I just know you're out there. You're on pins and needles. You're on pins and needles because you just want us to talk about your favorite scene, and I know what it was.
What?
You know what it was. You know what Shane's favorite scene was, because it was probably Jaha and Katrina's favorite scene too.
What?
The knifing of Jake.
Oh,
yes.
The knifing of Jake, because he's out there. I know he's out there. I'm actually surprised that he hasn't been. I'm surprised he hasn't been like typing in caps. Get to it.
Okay. Well, we'll go through the Q&A real quick. Shade said, feel better, Jaha. Kamir said, lots of pineapple juice for your sinuses. I hope you feel better soon. The Pectin gets rid of the swelling. And then Lucinda said, man, Rowan just screws with everyone around him, like telling new B613 dude how great Jake was. Kamara also says the sex scene was amazing. Russell was putting it down when the man took off his shirt and we saw those biceps. Good Lord, my heart belongs to Fitz/Tony, but damn, I can see. Did you?
He has a great body.
She was like,
let's not forget there was
She was like, wait. She was like, do you feel there could be a chance?
You're about to bring in reality, Katrina.
Okay,
you're about to bring in
No,
reality.
I wasn't.
I wasn't
going to bring in reality at all, because I could, but I am not
Right,
going.
LD.
I'm fine. She was like, do you feel there could be a chance Liv may hook up with Russell if Katrina is right? Is that right? Yeah, right. And then Shade B says, social media is killing my buzz because they insist that Jake is not dead. Well, here's a tip, Shade. Stay off of social media. Stop it. Don't get on there.
It's unfortunate, but it's a reality.
Yes.
He's alive. There were pictures that came out from Spotlight Scandal for.
But how do we know it's not a flashback? We don't know that.
It could be. But
so
to
it's like
my own feelings, I'm just going to believe that he is alive.
I will say that Scott went along with it brilliantly last night. Like, he sent out a tweet like at the end.
It was great working with you guys.
Great, it's been fun. Thanks for letting me join. So he went with it. So if it's real, it's real. If it's not,
But did you see on that same thread where Josh Molina was also like, teasing him and stuff like that, and then another person said it should have been David, and Josh Molina and Josh Molina was like, I agree.
I mean, it'd probably be the most screen time he's gotten in a while, right? So.
Oh, I like David. He could stick around.
They don't know what to do with his character, though. Talk about a character that's been underdeveloped, in my opinion. They don't know.
David serves the storyline in appropriate ways. Yeah, I think he's fine. He's very utilitarian, unlike someone else who gets shoehorned into shit for relevance. But we're moving on. I have a really nice bottle of champagne.
Are we talking about Jay? Are we talking about Jay?
I have a really nice bottle of champagne in the fridge, and I would very much like to open it by the end of the season, but it will only be done for a certain person.
Oh, wow.
Stab. All right, so my last question for y'all. My last question is about Rowan, because y'all did not talk about Rowan this episode. So
back Joe.
So let's roll back to the first part of the episode and talk about how Rowan is at Olivia's house, giving her 48 hours to make a choice on whether she's going to take his case or if she's going to think about that scene that came afterwards where he was still talking to her about that.
Oh, at the end. So he was the, well, technically not the Omega, but he was the Alpha and kind of the Omega of the episode, right? It began with a Rowan monologue, and we also kind of end with a Rowan monologue as well, where he's setting up yet another test for Olivia to push her and see how far she will go. And he, says you have 48 hours to shut this down, obviously without bringing the case to light, or he's going to take matters into his own hands. And then obviously at the end when he, when she tells him she's made a decision that you were right, I've looked it over, I've considered it from every angle, and this is a decision that I've made, but it's not going to be your side. And lo and behold, suddenly Rowan became all of Blackity Black Twitter in that moment, like basically telling Olivia that, oh, finally, you're becoming the woman that I want you to be, the woman you should be. You're standing on your own 2 feet instead of chasing after that man, shining his shoes. Look at you. I'm so proud. You go, girl. I mean, that's basically
he became all of Blackity Black Twitter.
He was.
It was.
But you know what? He will. Yes. Okay.
Oh, what was that?
I'm saying.
I know, right? He was very
money.
Happy.
Money.
He only gets excited like that over money. They hit my account. Jesus. Like
yes. Yeah, because I got excited this past weekend when I saw that that money in there.
Langston's just a bill, guys.
Yes, I am. But not a Cosby.
But the thing for me with Rowan is that, and this is where Shonda is really, and the rest of the Scandal writers are really kind of amazing, because sometimes they'll have characters say things that are underneath all of the bullshit that is kind of laced, that their sentiments are laced with because of their subjectivity. There are some kernels of truth, right? So there are some things that Rowan said to Olivia that I thought, yeah, I could believe that, or yeah, I could see that she is kind of like you in similar ways. But the problem is that ultimately the two of you have two different compasses that guide your lives. And when Olivia denies that she can love someone deeply, she becomes grotesque like Rowan, because Rowan doesn't have that. So all he has is, as Olivia said back in 409, is this world that he creates, this illusion where he is Zeus from on high, and his little B613 minions kiss the ring, and he plays them against one another. You're my golden boy this moment, you're my golden boy this moment, you're my golden boy this moment, right? And they all want to be at the right hand of the father. And he does that and uses people as chess pieces. And his daughter is no different. So she's not a daughter to him. So all that shit he talks about, well done, you're the daughter that I've always wanted, his love is completely conditional. It is completely based on her like being the epitome of greatness, you know, in a public way. Unless she is twice as good in his eyes, then she's not really worth shit, and she's not really doing what she needs to be doing, and she might as well be on an island. Like that just came back again. Like everything that she said to him in 409, like her read to him was just like a perfect read at that table, and she didn't need to be all dramatic and outrageous like he is. And she said like a really, really simple truth, like you're not going anywhere because you have no life except the one that you create here. You can't leave me alone because you have nothing of your own, right? And what his scenes emphasized to me was that, you know, at first I thought, you know, I'll be satisfied if this man is just made impotent. Obviously not in a sexual way. I just mean without power. And his power is taken away from him so that Olivia can live. Because unless he dies, Olivia can't live. But now I see that he literally needs to die so that she can live.
Or at least be put in a hole for another 22 years.
Or that. I'll take that too. He and Maya can play chess down there. No, Maya's in the actual prison now. She's not in the hole anymore. So
right,
he's still in the hole. Maya is a
Did she upgrade?
Remember, Liv had her put in maximum
security
in 409.
And she now has a flat screen TV. So
right, exactly. Honey.
Cable.
She saw her baby on the front line.
That's right. All the important channels.
I still love that part. Cable.
That was a great line. You know what? Olivia should go visit Maya because she is the only other person to have ever bested Rowan. She should go see Mom. She might have a little chat.
They literally.
I feel like there's some surprises coming up. I feel
they literally just need to let her out.
Yeah, I feel like we have some surprises coming up. I feel like they're intentionally, you know, like Katrina always says, they throw out these crumbs and they ignore them. And I feel like they've even been doing that the past couple weeks with like previews for the next episode. Like, because if you notice, like they'll put stuff in there, and then like when the actual episode airs,
it's not there.
That scene isn't even there. And people on Twitter are like, why are they doing that? That's so wrong, blah, blah. And I'm like, how do you know that would have been your favorite scene? You saw like 2 seconds of it. And they're like, that scene was so good. And I'm like, you don't know? It was like a clip. It was like a flash, people. But I think they're doing that intentionally to lead us in one direction and have us like looking to the left when on the season finale everything's going to be over here on the right. And we're going to be like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. So people, calm down and just watch the show.
Okay, the season finales are always jam-packed, so you know you better be ready for some shit.
And it's always early. With these last comments. Vanessa Sweet Treats Forever says, hey, drove like a mad person to listen. Susan seems definitely my #1 favorite for the episode. Lived at the precinct and fits with his happy face. I love him. Sorry, I'm not attracted to Jaha's Mr. Chocolate, but the scene was hot. Sweet Treats Forever, you are just a small hater. I don't know what the problem is.
She doesn't go up for that hairline. That's what it is. Isn't she the one?
She's like, it don't look real. I'm like, whatever. He is sexy. She said, LOL, Katrina Favela, Angelina Jolie, salty sandwiches. And then she says, Rowan is just manipulative in my opinion. He needs to get his own life instead of the imaginary one that he lives. And then on over here, Spectre Script says that we are hilarious today. LMAO. She said, let me tune in to Scandal Fan Podcast all late. Hey, John.
Hey, boo.
So, do you have any other comments on the Q&A, Eldia?
Yeah, we do. So Shane B said, "There you see, Lacey, you got him started." He said, "I need for Jake to be dead already. If they did that stabbing scene just for him to need a Band-Aid, then that whole scene was whack. It actually insults the viewer's intelligence and makes the
Jake
show very lion-hard.
Beaten up. Half the season beaten up or in captivity."
Yeah.
And then he said, "I predict that Olivia will kill her father."
And he got a couple of plus.
He's already
a couple people agree with him.
He did.
A couple people agree with him.
And then Kamara said, Can one get their hair did in prison? Apparently, because Maya's is always late.
No, her hair is not laid. You are a cold-faced lie.
Rowan applied her relaxers.
Right? No, her hair is not laid in prison. Y'all allow it. I don't know what weave y'all are looking at, but that weave is never combed. I don't get it.
Okay, and then Shane, wait, let me finish. And then Shane said, Kumara, please check your subject verb agreement. Thank management.
Oh, really? What? Having grammatical shade up in this?
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. Oh my God.
Lucinda said, yes, Katrina, just a while back,
Kumara,
he wouldn't lift a finger to help her because she disappointed him.
Kumara,
so
I don't have a daughter.
Kumara, I have
Let me finish.
No, I just want to tell Kumara that I have a hunting knife for her.
Oh. And then Lucinda said,
I am not advocating the murder of a listener.
And then
I'm sorry, LD.
We're talking about Shane. Hello.
And then Lucinda said, sadly, this punk ass quotation marks Jake will survive, but I have hope for his greatly diminished role. So she's saying she hopes he becomes less of a presence on the show. That maybe we just get to see him just laying there next episode, just dead or appearing.
No, they just need to shoot the scene of his funeral like they did with Harrison. And
but unfortunately, it's
you don't
not
ever
gonna
have to see Scott Foley again.
It's not gonna happen. Okay, but does anybody catch
and
the
then
fact that there were two?
Wait, I have to chime in. Kamara came back. She was like, "Look, Shane." She was like, you look here, Shane, don't make me come for you.
Okay, so now remember how we're always talking about how things are connected and blah, blah, blah? Okay, so we had a knifing of a woman early on in the scene, and then Jake ends up getting knifed. Mm-hmm. These knives are happening. What's going on? Last night probably should have been called "I'm Only a Knife."
I'm just a bill.
I'm only a knife.
Kamara said, thank you, Langston.
So,
say
okay,
what?
we are.
Kamara said, thank you. She must have been referring to you offering the knife.
Oh, you're welcome.
Look, that's Langston.
You should always carry a switchblade, baby.
I have nothing to do with any of
You never know when Shane's gonna sneak up.
I'm just gonna say I'm too pretty for prison, so
I know that's right. I'm with you. I ain't got time.
I'm not advocating murder. I'm just advocating that she. I'm just saying she should cut a bitch. That's all I'm saying.
And since I apparently can't get my hair relaxed, I definitely ain't going. So
I have a ring I wear for that. No need to carry an extra knife.
Oh, you got a brass knuckle.
I don't know nothing. Okay, we're leaving y'all. So thank y'all for joining us on this episode of the Scandal Fan Podcast.
And weaponry.
It's been a ball.
We're going into the After Dark. So we will see you guys there. If you want to join the After Dark, you all know the link is on the screen. It's dramaqueenbooks.com/support. See y'all later. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye. See you.